Hello and welcome to the Code Maintenance channel. My name is Gabor Sabo, and in this video we are going to see how to install Perl and how to get started with Perl on Windows, on Microsoft Windows. So you might know that most of the time I use Linux actually as my desktop computer, but because many people use Windows as their desktop computer, I thought it would be nice to try to see how Perl works there. I also got a project actually that's running on Windows, that needs to run on Windows, so I have to try it there. I also currently I'm working on a GUI for Perl Tidy, which is a Perl TK based GUI. I'm running it on Linux, but I would like to try it on Windows as well to see how it works. So I have all kind of reasons. So what I did is I created a VirtualBox. I installed VirtualBox on my machine. In there I installed Windows, and I'm using that Windows now. So let's switch to that view and see what we are doing. So now we have the browser open. Actually, I don't have anything on this Windows machine, anything installed, I think, except of Windows itself. So I'm using the Edge browser. I already got to the strawberryperl.com website, which is the community distribution of Perl for Windows. So Perl is written by a bunch of people and maintained by a bunch of people, and then they release the source code, and then some other bunch of people compile it and package it, so it's going to be easy to install, to distribute and install on for Microsoft Windows. So here's the website, and this is what we have. So I'm going to click on the 64-bit version because I assume that that's what I need. So it's downloading currently. It's going to take some time. At the same time, I'm also going to need some kind of an editor. So the Strawberry Perl is just the Perl executable, the compiler executable, and with a bunch of libraries. But I also need some kind of an editor, and there are all kind of various editors. I myself started to write a long time ago an IDE for Perl. It's called Padre. Currently, it's not being maintained, so I'm not sure that it's the latest version, that it will work on the latest version of Strawberry Perl. That might be also a good idea to try later. But for now, I'm using probably the simplest programmer's editor. So I definitely wouldn't want to edit with Notepad of Windows, but I'm going for Notepad++, which I personally like very much. There's the download link, and here I picked the most recent version, and that I'm going to download that too. So while the other one is probably already downloaded, now I'm going to download this one. And this too also offers, for some reason, 32-bit version. I'm not even sure why. I hope that my VirtualBox doesn't pretend to be 32-bit. So I'm clicking on, scrolled down to the download 64-bit, and then clicked on the installer to download the installer version, and it's downloading now the exe. So while it's downloading, and actually it's going to be quite fast, I click on the link where Strawberry Perl was downloaded to. I hope it's going to open now. Do I need to double click here? I'm not sure. Yeah, there is some window dialog opening here. Let's wait a couple of seconds. I don't know why does it take so long. In the meantime, I can also open this file. So let's say if this works faster. Yes, okay, so this is the Notepad++ installer that already started. I just click on it, on yes, and it will go on. Here at the same time, you can also see that the Strawberry Perl installer also started to run. So I'm installing now two things at the same time. Fun. Here too, I clicked on the next button. There is the licensing, so I accept the terms license. Obviously, you should probably read it. I mean, there's not much here. See the license directory after installation for more information. In general, it's open source. That's what it says. So I click next. It asks me to install it in C Strawberry. That's fine. Usually it's a recommended idea not to install it in something where you have spaces in there or non-Latin characters. So the default what it offers, C Strawberry, is a good idea. And ready to install. Okay, install, and it started to install. Okay, at the same time I have this other window for the Notepad++, and it asked me what language I would like to use for the UI. Now I'm going to go with English. It's gonna be easier for all of us. So now I have actually two things being installed at the same time, and right. So next, Notepad++ still asks me questions about the licensing. Also, I also agree here. That's also open source. It's offering to be installed on program files, Notepad++. It's okay. It's less important there to be in a non-spacey location. So yeah, I don't think that I have to need to change anything here in the installation of Notepad++. Create a shortcut on the desktop. No, I don't need a shortcut on the desktop. And so it's installing now. So the installation of Notepad++ is way faster. Oh, that's an interesting competition now between the two. It's still taking working on it. I hope that it's going to be faster. I can ask it to open Notepad++ by default. Okay, let's just leave it. Doesn't matter. I'm finishing the installation, and yes, so now we have the Notepad++ installed, and it's going to open. I guess it's slow partially because the whole thing is relatively slow because I have I'm running in a virtual box environment, so it's in the computer inside my computer. So here we have the Notepad++. That so far is good, but Perl is still being installed, so I won't be able to use it. Anyway, let's move forward with a little bit before I can actually show things. So let me show you something here else. So two things: codemaven.com/slides/Perl. That should be a nice picture, nice image for the background of the browser. What I just typed in is code. I'm going to share the link below the video on the web page as well. It's the location of all of my slides, specifically my Perl related slides. So you can go over these slides if you're interested in learning Perl and doing it step by step. And the other website that I would recommend at this point is the perlmaven.com. I can't type in my own website the name of the perlmaven.com. Okay. Sorry, I didn't type it correctly. So both the CodeMaven website and the PerlMaven site are maintained by myself. On the CodeMaven website, I generally have every content except Perl, because all the Perl content is on the PerlMaven website. But there is an exception for the exception, because all of my slides, including the Perl slides, are on the CodeMaven website. So here you can find the Perl related slides. If you just, there is a link to the slides, to all of the slides that I have. If you visit the PerlMaven website, then you have, let's say, the Perl tutorial I have, the beginner PerlMaven video course, which is, I think, like 5 years old, but the majority of things are the same. So you don't, newer versions of Perl have a couple of new features, but they are in general not really important for beginners. So if you just learn that what I taught back then, that's gonna be fine. And also one of the emphases I had is to wait a second before I go there. I see that something is blinking here. Yes. So now the Strawberry Perl installation is asking me if I want to proceed, and if I want to, actually Windows asks me if I want to allow it. Okay, so now it's installing. So what I was saying is that in these videos I was making an emphasis on having a tutorial that can be also used for older versions of Perl, specifically because many people are working in an environment where they sorry, where they have opened old versions of Perl, meaning even 5.8, which is rather like, I don't know, 20 years old, not 20, but 15 years old. And there were no huge differences between the versions of Perl. It's incremental improvement, obviously it's much better to use the newer versions for all kind of purposes, but for the basics of the language, it's the same. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. And in the meantime, I see that the Strawberry Perl installation is making a progress. Okay, so what else do we have here? In the meantime, while it's installing, actually, let's get to the slide and see the first thing, so I can explain about a few things. So I get to the first steps here. Here we are talking editors, IDEs, what to install, so what I mentioned here. And the first script. Okay, so here is the first script. Okay, maybe I should actually, before I clicked back, let me go back 2 steps here and let me enlarge. Oh, it works this way as well in Windows. Okay, I'm sort of back to Windows. Okay, so I clicked on the first steps, and here the first script, and this is my first Perl script that I wrote here. It's an interesting version, so I see that it's requiring 5.8.7 as the minimal version. That's what this does. So let's go over the script quickly, and let me just look at it. Okay, so it's still working. Good. So this is our first script. Actually, in order just to print something, right. So the basics, the first thing that in every programming language people you do is just print hello world. And it's a sort of a way to show how easy or difficult it is to write in a programming language. Now in Perl, in order to just to print hello world, it would be enough to just have this line. Okay, that would be enough, and it would print out hello world, and then you would run it and it would work. But in any here I also show how to print 42, just to show you how to print a number. But also in Perl, it's quite important that you turn on 2 quite critical basically compilation flags or feature flags in the language, and one of them is called use strict, and the other one is called use warnings. So the first one tricks on various flags that are usually checking the compilation, but also sometimes runtime. Use warnings just will give you all kind of warnings when you have locations in your code that might be there might be some problems. Recent versions of Perl actually already come with use strict by default, and future versions probably will also turn on use warnings by default. But because I would like to show it also for older versions of Perl, that's why I have this in this code. I also have this use statement. So this use statement means that when I'll start to run this, Perl will check whether the current version of Perl is at least version 5.8.7. And just to switch back to the website of Strawberry Perl, it says 5.32. Okay, point something, that doesn't matter. Okay, so we are a lot further ahead than the script than 5.8. Okay, so not when the script was written, but for the version of this script was written. So this script, it means, so the line there means that it has to be at least, oh sorry, now the phone is ringing as well. I hope someone else is going to answer it. It's really fun to have videos and have phone conversations at the same time. Okay, so while I'm talking about the slide, the installation seems to get to the reach the end, so now I can click on finish, and it's going to show me the README, which I'm not really interested in. I just wanted to make sure that you can see. Actually, you can read here stuff, so it's going to be interesting. Okay, so now we have both the text editor installed and or a text editor, specifically Notepad++, and Strawberry Perl, and we also learned a little bit about writing Perl code. Now let's actually do this. So first thing that I run is I click on the Windows key and I type in CMD to open the command line. So it's a command prompt. Actually, I could use also the other window, but that doesn't matter for now. I enlarge it and I just try to type in Perl. Can I? No, it doesn't work with enlarging the font this way. But what you can do is click on the top left icon, and in the properties you can say that the layout is going to be, the window size is going to be higher, much higher. Okay, so it's a bigger window and wider. Okay, you can see in this small window, you can see how it will look like. And I also would like to change the font, so it's gonna be 24. Well, that resizes also the window, so maybe 20 is gonna be enough. Okay, so this is going to be enough now. Yeah, we have a bigger window with bigger fonts. Now I can type in Perl minus capital V, and actually I should use small v. Okay, so lowercase v will show you the version number of Perl. The capital V shows you a lot more information that are so not that interesting right now. So you can see that that now we can find Perl on the command line. We can run Perl. And this shows the version number 5.32, a subversion 0, so that's the exact version number. Actually, I could type in now Perl minus E and type in print, and here I can type in hello world, and this would print out hello world on the screen. Okay, so this already works on the command line with the minus E flag. And there is another trick here. Again, this is starting from Perl 5.10, so it's quite old. If you type in capital E, then instead of print, you can say type say, which is both shorter, and it also automatically adds a new line at the end of the string. Now Windows automatically also adds a new line, so maybe that's not that important, but anyway, it's there. Okay, so what else do we have? Now we have this Notepad++. Okay, so before we actually type in something here, let me open the File Explorer and create a directory. So we can, let's just, where shall I create it? Okay, so this PC, I mean, you can create it any place, but let's create it in the drive C. I'm creating here in the root a directory, so I called I don't know, examples, okay, and then double click and then get into this directory, and here I'm going to right click again and say new and create a file there. So that's a couple of ways to create a file, a new Perl file. One of them is to create a file in the File Explorer and then open it with Notepad++. The other one would be to start writing in Notepad++. But so I'm creating text document and I say hello. Now I would want to add the extension PL, but actually you can't really see that. So now if I add the hello.pl, what you can see, Windows still sees it as a text document. It doesn't see it as a Perl document. And the reason is because actually Windows hides the extensions. So before we go further into Perl, a suggestion, you click on View here and enable the file name extensions. And then suddenly you will see that your file name actually is hello.pl.txt, which is not what I intended. What I intended is just to have hello.pl. So now I right click on this. I don't right click. F2, I click on F2, and then I edit the name of the file, remove the .txt from the end, and press enter to save it. Windows at this point usually screams at me because it doesn't like when I change the file extension. So, but don't worry, we are just changing the file extension. So I say yes, and now I have a file which Windows syncs now. If you can see here the type, it says Perl program file. Okay, so Windows at least understands that's a Perl program. Now I right click on it and open and edit with Notepad++. So it would open Notepad++ if I didn't have it open already. And now you can see that it says hello.pl. I hope that you can see it. I don't know if I can enlarge this. I should learn how to focus on something. So here is what now we do. We say print and we say hello world. And I also put the \n because I would like to have a new line here. Okay, so I think zoom allows me, so control num plus would be the zoom here. Okay, so control and the numeric plus. Okay, nice. So I can enlarge the fonts there. So I typed in print hello world. As you can see, it's blue. The word print is blue, and that's blue because Notepad++ already understands, because of the .pl extension, that we are talking about a Perl file, and it knows that print is a command in Perl, so a function in Perl. I pressed Ctrl S to save it, but you can also go here, File, and click on Save. If it's now grayed out, I can't click on it because I already saved the file. And now I have to go to the terminal, the command line. Yes, okay, so I need this command window, and cd to the directory where I saved this file. So it's cd, and I start with the / because it's the beginning of the C directory, and the examples. I don't know if you noticed, I didn't even type the whole word. I just started typing exa and then press tab, the tab key, which is on the left hand side, and it filled all the rest of the word, the rest of the characters. So now I have the full directory name. cd means change directory. So now I'm inside in this directory. If I type in dir, which is just the command for the Windows, I can see that file hello.pl, and now I can also run it. I type in perl, and then name of the file. Again, I don't type the whole name of the file, just the beginning, and I press tab, and it does what we call word completion. So word completion. So it completes the name of the file in this case, and I can press enter and it runs the program. So here we have hello world on the screen, and that's it. What the really basics of starting to write a Perl program. Remember, at least in this setup, the way you work is that you have an editor open, Notepad++, and you save the file, then you switch to the command window, and there you run the command. You can also use various IDEs or editors that can, from the editor, you can start running your program. At this point, I actually don't recommend it. I think it's important to feel this separation between the editor and the program itself. But of course, your mileage might vary. Whatever, might be different. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope that you, from this video, you can get started using Perl on Windows and start writing the hello world, and then you can follow either my videos or can follow the slides. And if you have questions, feel free to ask. I'll try to get you some kind of an answer. I'll also put some links to where you might be able to find more help, either on Facebook or in some other resources, if you would like to learn more about Perl. So thank you very much, and I'm going to follow up this with a couple of other videos that will show you various aspects of the projects I am doing. In any case, if you're watching this on YouTube, please remember to follow the channel, like the video, right? And then you can also visit, there is going to be a link to my Patreon account where you can support my quest to help other programmers learn Perl specifically, and programming in general, and all kind of tools in general. So see you in one of the other videos.